Welcome to another episode of the Money Mindset Mastery podcast. Today, we're diving deep into the world of financial goal setting. Imagine starting the new year with a rock-solid financial plan, sustainable habits, and the confidence to stay the course, no matter what the markets throw your way. Join us as we uncover the secrets to conducting personal financial audits, automating your savings, and defining your financial goals with crystal clarity. Get ready to transform your financial future and align your spending with your personal values and goals. Stay tuned.
Wake up, it's time to rise. Talking money with sharp insight. Jim and Ryan here to guide. Mastering the money ride. Saving stacks and planning dreams. Living large by honest means. Tune in now for the schemes. Breaking down financial themes. Money mindset every day. Mastering.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Money Mindset Mastery podcast. I'm your host, Jim Leo, and joining me today is my co-host, Ryan Janot. Ryan, how are you today?
I'm doing great. This is the 2025 edition, I guess. Not to be mistaken for the 2023 edition that I wrote down in pencil the other day. So apparently I missed a few years. Anyway, we're back to 2025 and goal setting. I think this is a great way to start off the year and make sure that clients and those like listening can take some steps and hopefully grab some really valuable advice and recommendations from this conversation.
Absolutely. It feels like it's been forever since we recorded our last one. I think our last one was the second or third week of December. So I feel a little bit rusty right now. I'm sure once I get on that horse, I'll be fine. But yeah, this is feeling a little strange, but it's feeling really good too, because we're back on the podcast horse again.
Yeah. Together again.
Yeah. And just to basically kind of outline the year for our podcast, we're going to continue on sending out a weekly episode. So we're going to do our best to do that. That's the plan, at least until summertime, and then maybe we'll take a bit of a cigar barbecue break. But that'll be our goal for the year as well. What Ryan and I encourage you to do, though, is if there is a topic that you would like for us to tackle and discuss, then reach out to us. You can email us at financial@tvhgroup.ca, or you could just make a comment on one of the social media platforms, and we'll get that. And we'd love to hear from you. So please go ahead and do that. And then finally, in terms of big picture and maybe news to kind of share right now, some changes for clients of TVH Financial and Mortgages and Accounting and Legal. We are no longer at our location at 2 Lombard Street as of this coming Saturday. But stay tuned, because we're looking to get new space in downtown Toronto, and we're hoping it's going to be fantastic space. So it's going to be a significant upgrade in terms of what we've had for the last 5 years. Ryan, anything else you want to add to that before we talk about the topic? Or maybe you can share what is the topic today? What's the title of the episode?
The title of the episode is How to Set Realistic Financial Habits and Goals for the New Year. Again, 2025. And for that matter, you can re-listen to this every year, as we will probably continue to expand on this. We touched upon a podcast earlier about SMART goals, and I had a little bit of fun with it when it came to writing the blog around that kind of podcast that we did, because working with businesses, working with people, working through the cash flow and coaching that we offer, we get a lot of this, and we wanted to make sure that we continue to create the dialogue, and that every podcast that we write, or the blogs that we have, somebody's going to walk away with something new that they didn't discover before, or maybe something new that we've discovered through the learnings of our own growth and through clients sharing what worked for them. And that's really the importance of this podcasting, really creating dialogue around financial literacy, financial coaching, and really making each other better versions of ourselves. And just, one of the biggest things for this year, I think, is just taking that one little step towards financial goals or financial or health wellness, whatever it may be in your life. And I think some of this article we took from we saw something that came up through the Toronto Store, a lot of similarities of things that we've said in the past, things that I've said in my blog. And we just want to make sure that we keep saying the same thing, because nothing really changes within that kind of communication or information that we're trying to share. And it's really interesting to see, the Toronto Star, this writer's perspective, some of the things that we see work, and some of the things that we see don't work. And it's about, again, creating that dialogue. Yeah.
How about now? All right. Again, technical difficulties. Anyways, there's going to be things that we are going to be sharing that's new throughout the year and even in the topic today. But there are a lot of things that are going to sound and feel repetitive. And the reason for that is because we really want to instill the importance of some of these um, basically ideas that we're sharing with people, because they work. So we're not going to be apologetic that we keep repeating some of these things. It is more of a reminder, of a refresher. And, if you're going through some kind of coaching, like diet coaching or exercise coaching, your coaches are going to keep repeating the same thing until they become habits, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. So what I've done is I've actually gone through summarize some key points from the article. And you're right, this is a Toronto Star article that came out earlier this year. So if you'd like a copy of the article, let us know. We'll send it out. But some of the things that we want to talk about in terms of some of the key points is the first thing, and I do this all the time. I do this near the end of the year. I do it for my personal expenses, and I also do it for my business, which is really to do an annual personal audit, right? So to do a bit of a year end review of some of the financial decisions you've made, right? And really establishing some realistic goals for the upcoming year. I don't believe in resolutions. Resolutions I find are more temporary. I believe in setting goals and measuring where you are in relation to the goals that you've set. So the first thing is really to do a personal audit, and some of that is review your bank accounts. Right? Are there pre-authorized services that you're paying for on a monthly basis you've forgotten about, or maybe it's, what, I'm paying X amount per month. I might have really used it once this year. Does it really make sense for me to continue on paying that? You can save a lot of money by just doing a bit of an audit and identifying some of those expenses. And there could be some other expenses too that you've noticed that maybe you can just do without. Or, I know, Ryan, you like to do this, is maybe you can get a better deal depending on what that service is here's what you're spending. This is what it is annualized. What if we make a quick phone call to let's call it the cell phone company. You make the phone call to the cell phone company, see what they could do for you, and maybe find out what the competitor is willing to do as well, right? And that could mean hundreds of dollars throughout the year. It could mean thousands of dollars over the next 5, 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah. Oh, a quick example, actually. I do a 3-month review of my expenses, and I canceled a certain streaming service 3 months ago. Well, instead of them eliminating, they actually moved me up to whatever the higher grade streaming service that it is. And they've been charging me for the last 3 months, almost $25 a month. So that's $75. Had I not caught it in the course of the year, I am now rebuting the information. But you want to catch those things early, because it can really cost you. And you're paying whether it's a Visa bill automation or debit, suddenly you're going, where did all this money go? What's going on? So especially when you're trying to keep and understand your cash flow, or if you're trying to create a small budget for like a short-term goal. So
yeah, and then the next thing in terms of some of the key points is to create a bit of a three-step approach, right? So the first thing is you want to clearly define your financial goals. And I know we keep harping on this, Ryan. This is why we encourage clients to work with us on, if retirement is one of the goals, to really map that out and clearly define. Like, I've many times have sat down with a client where I've said, "Hey, do you know what you're going to require in terms of income when you retire?" People don't know, right? They don't know what those goals are. They haven't really thought about what they want retirement to be for them. Is it going to be a ton of travel? Are you just going to kind of sit around the house and putter? So those are things you really need to start thinking about. Now, we also recognize that it's difficult to maybe define some of those goals 20, 30 years out, right? But that's the reason why you start off with a baseline and then we make the adjustments along the way, right? So I think that's one of the things. And it's the same even with the cash flow planning. Define some of your spending goals, right? And we also we encourage people to maybe establish some short-term achievable goals, right? Because it's difficult sometimes to look at that elephant to eat that entire elephant, but you do it one bite at a time. That's something that we always say as well as baby steps. Do it slowly. Eventually, you're going to get there, right? So I think that's really important. Um, and that kind of leads to the creating a comprehensive financial plan and cash flow plan, right? That's another thing is a lot of people are on this financial journey and they don't really have anything mapped out. They're trying to figure things out and there is no direction, right? So maybe you can kind of speak to that a little bit more.
Well, I think especially worth working with a trusted advisor like ourselves and a coach. We're able to give direction along the way to really help people keep on track to their cash flow. Um, Again, we use the example again, whether it's a fitness coach, a health coach, a business coach. We're always looking for mentorship of people to help support us, to help us carry us ourselves through whatever our goal might be. And by working with us and our team, it really allows you to have somebody that can answer those questions without it being hearsay or a new fad that's going on TikTok or whatever social media that you're doing, but you're actually getting really great advice. And again, you're using a team of advisors that we have um, to help people kind of achieve those goals. So I think not that I think, one of my new, I guess, things for 2025 is stop saying, I think, Jim, but I believe and I know it has worked for a lot of our clients when it comes to the support that they're receiving and having that kind of monthly or quarterly review and meeting for us to coach them through the processes and the things that help them achieve their goals. And it's really shown in, for us, the amount of people that are talking about us and helping support teachers and nurses, whatever other industries that I'm thinking about, police and fire. Those are some of the people that we've been working with more often, regularly, that really want to help support their longer term goals. So
Yeah, and I think the next one, and now this is a bit of a time where this could be a bit of a trap for people, really is portfolio design and ensuring that you design your portfolio to align with your plans and goals and not make decisions based on marketing and rate of return. So, what I mean by that right now is usually we project out for a client, here's what your requirements are in terms of your income requirements for retirement purposes. And this is what you require from an annualized rate of return to achieve that goal. So, this is just one example. And the number could be, for argument's sake, 4 to 6% per year. Well, now people are going to start seeing a lot of marketing where, hey, in 2024, our fund had a 15% return or had an X amount rate of return. And some people will be looking at that, comparing to maybe what they have in terms of their portfolio and say, well, I've only had 7. That 15 sounds so much better. I'm going to now chase that portfolio not understanding that they might be taking on a lot of more risk for that 15%. They might be dealing with a lot more volatility, right? So, really, what you should be focusing on is do not chase the returns. Make sure you understand here's what we need to achieve those goals, and how do we structure our portfolio to be able to meet that goal, and not make some big mistake in moving out out of your appropriate portfolio design to try to chase rates of returns. And I've been doing this for a very long time, and this is one of the biggest mistakes people tend to make. Um, so right now is really the trap where that's going to happen, right? And even prior to that, we dealt with about an 18-month to 2-year period where it was GICs. People were chasing GICs because of the rates of returns on those GICs. Well, now those GICs are renewing, and they're not being offered anywhere close to what they were receiving. So now they're chasing the better return again by looking at maybe an equity based portfolio, taking on a little bit higher risk. But we also had a pretty good run last year. So we're not sure if that's going to be sustainable, over the next 12 months or not. So just stick to your portfolio, make adjustments, make some minor adjustments, but please, please, please do not go out there and start chasing returns. Anything else to add to that?
I would just say what the feedback from a lot of our clients is that it's no longer worrying and sleepless nights. I think that's one of the things that I've noticed with our clients and starting to do some of the reviews right now is they didn't have sleepless nights. It wasn't about their financial plan that they were worried about anymore because they had a great team around them. And again, one of the biggest things is making sure that you're finding that sound advice from the right people. So, and speaking to the GIC bit, the institutions that you put them on will automatically renew those into a much lower, and sometimes without your knowledge and knowing. So make sure you're checking in. If you haven't, if your advisor team isn't reaching out to you, then reach out to us. That's what we do, is making sure we do regular reviews. And I say this almost every second podcast, which is when something major happens in your life, make us part of your top 5 list of people to call and talk about it. Really saw that throughout the last few months of the year. A couple of clients bought homes, and in the times that the banking institutions weren't there to answer their calls quick enough, we were there. We were there to make sure that you had a team of advisors to answer your questions. I had a meeting December 24th and December 26th. So while other institutions were closed. So yeah.
Yeah, and on a side note too, if you are looking for a second opinion on your portfolio, then obviously we would encourage people to reach out to Denis Bazon, who is lead portfolio manager at TVH Wealth. So he'd be more than happy to provide you with a free assessment of your current portfolio to make sure that they align, or it aligns with your long-term goals. And you can also go to tvhwealth.ca, and there is a portfolio comparison option there that you can click and go through that process. So I just wanted to mention that to people. So we talked about this a little bit, but it's building sustainable habits. And the best way to do it, it's what, about 30 days to establish a habit, right, Ryan? Is that what it is?
Yeah, about 30 days, or in basketball or hockey terms, 10,000 shots.
Yeah. So really what you want to try to do is start off with some small goals that are achievable, right? As opposed to, yeah, I want to have a big, huge down payment for a house 5 years from now, and it's a huge number, right? Kind of break it down in chunks. Do it, over the next 3 months, this is what I want saved up. And over the following 3 months, this is how much I want saved up. And one of the easiest habits that people can start off with is setting up a forced savings plan. And what that basically means is that every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever it is, you've designated X amount of dollars to be set aside into an investment, a savings account, combination of both, right? But that is one of the easiest things that you could do to just start off slow, right? Anything else to add to that?
Automated savings is always one of my top things to do. Really understanding what your cash flow plan is, what's coming in, what's going out, and I said, as you just said, the short term goals is something that's fun and achievable, and that you can really experience something. I think one of the things with coaching clients throughout the year, those things were often tied to things that brought value to themselves or their family, and really created a great experience. Uh, the end result, when they achieve that goal, not only for saving up, but also doing that, whatever that experience may be, whether it's renovating a kitchen or going on a family trip, really motivated them to create the next small goal, and at the same time help support that longer term goal, because they always kept those things in mind as they went through uh, the the goal and the process of making sure that they were achieving them. So you talked about investing wisely, not chasing the information and what is out there, and chasing a rate of return. And what else? I think one of the other things that sometimes comes up is a good time to check your credit score too, as a smart tip to think about when wanting to figure out what the next attainable goal is. Because if you're not checking your credit score and your longer term goal is, a mortgage, those things can have a huge impact on your goals. So.
Well, it can, and also some credit facilities, lines of credits, credit cards, for example, you receive a better rate offer if you have a strong credit report or credit rating. So another reason why to do that. So that's a good point. Now, in the article, they talked about setting smart goals, meaning specific for S, right? Measurable for M, for the A, realistic, and have a deadline, right? So I don't know how the T that kind of got lost there near
It's
the
supposed to be
end.
supposed to be have a timetable, or a time in a timely, like
Right.
setting a
So
timetable for
timeline,
that.
yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So I think those are. I mean, if you're thinking of setting up a goal, that's how to think about it, right? Be very specific, measurable. It's attainable. It's realistic, and it has a deadline to it. And we talk a lot about that when we walk our clients through the cash flow planning, behavioral cash flow plan, right? And one of the goals that you don't want to set is, well, I want to pay down my credit card. You want it to be something that's fun, something that you feel good about, right? So that's another thing to consider as well. Staying the course. This is the difficult one. I don't know how many times we have walked through a retirement plan, for example, and we set it up, we make the projections, we let people know here's what you need to do, and then we're actually chasing people to go through the progress report a year later, 2 years later, to measure, like, where are you at based on the goals that we've set out, and are there some changes to those goals? Do we have to make some of those adjustments? So really, it's about staying the course during the difficult times, but more importantly, during the great times. This kind of speaks to, again, the investment side, where people kind of chase returns, right? Sometimes it's very difficult. There's that fear of missing out, the FOMO, right? So it's just, that's the hardest time to stay the course, is when everyone else is making a killing on marijuana, for example, marijuana stocks that got once upon a time, or Bitcoin, or whatever it might be. They're now, taking all their money out of their appropriate portfolio that's designed for them for long-term sustainability, and they're chasing these other short-term high risk type of investments, right? So staying the course is very important. So not only should your advisor be one of the five on your list when there's a material change in your life, they should also be number one if you're looking to blow up your plan to chase an investment, right? So I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
I think everything for me always comes down to education, right? Making sure you're taking the right steps to educate yourself before you blow everything up, that you're talking to the right people within your group. Again, you are a reflection of your top 5 people that you surround yourself with. And I want to say Tony Robbins said something along the lines of either master your money or your money masters you. And it's about being in control. We talk a lot about having control. And what I discuss with a lot of clients, and the feedback too, is they're embarrassed or they don't know what the next step is to take, and that's where they get stuck. And again, there's a lot of psychology around that and building up of anxiety, but we're here to support that goal, that trend, and make sure we help support you keep on the right path. And it's about one step, being better today than we were yesterday. That know that we make mess ups, we screw up, and that's okay. And to reach out to the right people that can help support us, get us back on track, and really encourage us to do so. You said at the beginning of the episode, sometimes we're on our clients, but I wouldn't say we're on our clients. We often like to ask our clients, what is the support that you need, right? If you need us to be on you, we'll be on you about that, because that's the encouragement. That's the kind of style that you need, versus some people that just need some information. They'll work through the progress. We'll give them a few tasks at the end of our coaching session, and they come back to us, feeling like inspired and wowed by what the next, 2 weeks or 30 days would be for them. So every person is different, every situation is different. So we want to make sure that we're highlighting that, and within the coaching session, making sure that we really understand what kind of push, nudge, or kick in the buttocks you might need, depending on your path. So
Yeah. And the other thing too is consistency. We've talked about this, right? Be consistent with whatever you do. I remember when I took, I think it was grade 10 accounting, my grade 10 accounting teacher said, I don't care if you're mostly right or mostly wrong, just be consistent, right? I remember at the time thinking that's kind of silly, but I understand what he means by that now, right? Is because if you're consistently wrong, it's easy to find the errors, right? And if you're consistently correct, then you get to move on, and leave the office early that day or whatever, right? So just be consistent, which is very important. But that also speaks to, again, the investment strategy. One of the, I think, challenges that you and I face sometimes when we introduce Denis, again, our portfolio manager at TVH Wealth, is people look at the returns like they're consistent, but they're not wow returns, right? But they're consistent. You can rely on the low volatility of the portfolio. That's going to put more money in your pocket long term, because you're not making these major swing emotional decisions as a result, right? Because if you're down 30%, people freak out and they pull out the wrong time.
yeah, better sleep equals better wellness, equals better lifestyle, and making sure that that consistency is there, because the emotional roller coaster, which I'm sure everybody has lived through, we're not going to be that emotional roller coaster. If you want an emotional roller coaster of funds and calling your advisor because something's happened with the market, you're going to find that with other institutions. But if you want something that's going to be consistent, that you're going to find sound advice and feel good at the end of a conversation, walk away learning something, and hopefully that you're going to be like, you're going to be wowed by that overall experience that people have when they work with TVH. So
I agree. Now, we talked a little bit about this already, using automation, right? So that's your for savings, but also in paying your expenses, right? Having that all automated is very important. And another one here talks about keeping accounts separate. Now, what we encourage people to do, which comes from the behavioral cash flow program, is we like to set up 2 bank accounts, right? There's the one where all the payroll goes into, and the fixed expenses come out of things like your mortgage payment, your loan payments, things of that nature. And then what we like to do or encourage people to do is to open up a separate account, which is for what we refer to as your spendable account. And those are your variable expenses. So what we tend to do is we provide you with an umbrella amount that you can spend per week or per month, and your variable expenses, things like your groceries, your going out, eating out, whatever they might be, comes from that bucket. And then sometimes, if there is a savings goal, so for example, you want to save over the next 12 months money for a vacation, right? Then you might potentially even create another account, which is your vacation savings account, right? So a lot of it is bucketing. I'm sure people have heard that term before. You don't want to have too many buckets, but there is a way that we can assist you kind of with that process and mapping that out for you as well. So any final comments on that?
I don't know. That sounds
No?
great.
Okay, that's awesome. And then finally, in summarizing the article, it talks about redirecting your spending. So focusing on redirecting your spending according to your values and goals rather than restricting it, right? So maybe you can expand on that.
Again, we talked a little bit about that. Is really understanding what your family's goals and values are, and are they matching to what you're spending your money on, and then more longer term, are they helping you achieve your next goal, whether it's short term or long term goals. Again, part of the coaching piece that we offer is really understanding the behaviors behind what creates this kind of ongoing cycle that people get into. Some of it's learned behavior, some of it's ingrained into us. But most importantly, I guess the biggest thing is us trying to find a way to get you out of that and truly understand the psychology around why you're making those decisions. So, questions to ask yourself, like, do you have any specific goals that you have for, say, the next 6 months, right? 6 months is a good kind of starting period, 6 to 18 months for short term. Are you currently on track with your current expenses or the income that you're expecting to happen? And what other challenges are you facing when it comes to your financial habits and how we can continue to support that, whether it's continuing to listen to more of the podcasts that we have, maybe sending you articles through the cash flow solutions. There's an educational component that takes you through modules and the learning piece. And then, of course, there's the coaching that we offer to layer on top of that. So, and again, the regularity of how often we meet, again, depending on what the client's needs are, but, meeting monthly for a regular check-in to help talk about what went well and what you need continued support with, right? So, and we're not there to hold people accountable. That's their job, but it's always nice to have a good, encouraging partner alongside you in life and in advising that can help make sure that you maintain those goals. So,
I agree. So I think just as a reminder for everyone, as you're looking out to 2025 and you're setting your goals, you're kind of doing a bit of an audit on your financials. Look at TVH Group to help you with that process. So as a reminder, we have TVH Mortgages. I heard today in the news that this year there's going to be a record number of mortgages that are coming up for renewal. I believe it's in the tune of like 100,000 a month. 100,000 mortgages a month are coming up for renewal this year. And your bank is going to send you a renewal notice, and it's not going to be the best offer available to you. It's their offer that they're making to you, right? So if you receive that renewal notice, don't wait until like the last week for the renewal, 30, 45 days. Take it to a mortgage broker, and guess what? We have one in-house. So I would encourage you to reach out to John Sowerby, who's a mortgage broker at Verico TVH Mortgages. Let them have a look at the offer. Now, he might look at it and say, you know what? That's a really good offer. I think you should take it. And he's done that for many clients. Then there will be other times where he might say, you know what? That's a horrible offer, and we potentially could do better with another lender. So If you'd like to speak to John on your mortgage, you can reach out to us. I'm going to give you all the details near the end. But that's one area that I think a lot of people are going to be dealing with this year. The next one is going to be RSP season and TFSA contributions. TFSA limits, they've increased by $7,000 for 2025. So you can contribute up to another $7,000 if you've been maxing out. And there is an RSP deadline that's fast approaching. Basically, I believe it's March 1st this year as well. So if you're looking to make those contributions, we can assist you through Denis Bazan at TVH Wealth. Ryan and I can also assist you in some of the other offerings that we have that may be more suitable for you as well. So look at us to help you with some of those contributions. If you're looking at setting up a retirement plan or a financial plan because you've never done one before, then reach out to TVH Financial. That would be Ryan and I. We can help you with that process. If you are concerned about your cash flow, probably opening up some credit card statements right now, looking at, spent a lot of money last year in December, right? And you're looking for some help there and maybe readjusting your spending, maybe even identifying some spending patterns or habits that we might want to correct. Ryan and I can assist you with that as well. The next thing is going to be obviously the accounting. CRA is going to be wanting us to file our tax returns by the end of April of this year. David at TVH Accounting can help you with that as well. So if you're looking for some help there, you're looking to speak to an accountant, we can point you in the right direction. And then finally, if you're looking at, if you're a young family and you don't have a will or have a power of attorney, or if you have aging parents and they're starting to have some challenges with making some decisions, you need to speak to a lawyer to potentially put together a power of attorney, to perhaps draft up a will to make sure that your wishes are taken care of in the event that you would predecease, right? So we have that through our partner, Sonia at TVH Legal. So if you're looking for some assistance there, I encourage you to, again, reach out to us and we can point you in the right direction. That's a lot. Ryan, am I forgetting something or did I kind of hit them all?
I think it's the value of understanding from start to finish where we can help people and make it just a smooth, easy process for people. And I know we've talked about it. I think we'll be looking at something in the summer to do like a full-fledged group activity where all the partners and all the people are involved in how we can share stories of the success and encourage a lot of our clients to comment and even potentially be part of that podcast for us. Because I think that is really proof in the pudding when it comes down to it, is the number of referrals and how easy it can be for a lot of people. So, and for me, I think looking back at 2024, I want to do this to challenge people out there is really spend a few minutes either each day or a few minutes a week just to really reflect on your week. And, all it takes is a few minutes, to write things down of how you're progressing and how you want to maintain a goal that you're trying to achieve, and be very mindful about what are the kind of habits that you've done throughout the week that may not be helping you achieve that. And if you need a coach, you need support, we're here to help that. So really the daily challenge or a month challenge until our next podcast for me is really seeing how people can improve their overall awareness of what they're doing. That way, when they're talking to somebody like ourselves, we can really hone in on supporting them in the right way.
You're correct. So if you're someone, again, looking for some help, some guidance, looking for a second opinion, need help in some of the other practice areas that we talked about, you can go right to tvhgroup.ca and you'll see all the different divisions that we have there and all the different team members that can help you. If you're looking to reach out to Ryan and I directly, you can go directly to tvhfinancial.ca. You can also find us on a lot of our social media platforms as well, from LinkedIn to TikTok to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. It's all, we're everywhere. Or again, you can just pick up the good old fashioned phone and call us at 647-727-4668. And finally, as I mentioned before, you can also email us financial@tvhgroup.ca. So, Ryan, that's the first one of 2025 in the books.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to a whole bunch more for the rest of the year. And again, our goal really is to share our knowledge with you and to help and to assist. If, again, you have any other questions, if there is a topic you'd like for us to discuss, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to go ahead and record something based on some of your questions and topics you're looking for. Right? Ryan, anything else you want to add before we shut her down?
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, me as well. All right. Well, the next one will be Monday of next week. So once again, thank you everyone for listening and watching. We truly appreciate, the fact that you're interested in the content that we're putting out there, and looking forward to many more episodes. Thanks and take care.
Why is it me? Why am I a guy? I still